let me move forward and introduce our last speaker of today, Nick van Breda. Now we are diving into technology, specifically virtual reality and extended reality. And I would, this time, I need to use the word expert because we have here probably one of the uh, biggest experts in the world on these technologies and the use cases in education. Nick, thank you for being here. Sorry, we are running a bit late, but we will definitely stay for your presentation and look very much forward to hear about your work and about you, Nick. So over to you.
Thank you for the kind words, Lars. And it was a pleasure also to work with you on a sprint, not a sprint hero, but a sprint for disrupting a school in Thailand just before COVID hit the van, in 2019, where we had the opportunity to help management of a school to transform their MBA programs into more futuristic programs. And I'm glad to showcase some of the results of what we've been doing since COVID hit the fan, and we started showcasing what XR could actually mean to education. XR, extended reality, is a combination of virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality, if you've never heard of it. And I'm ICT and education coach now for part of my time in a university in the Netherlands. And I help teachers, I train teachers to apply these technologies, XR and AI, in their courses. So I'm going to showcase what I've been doing in my university, Advanced University of Applied Sciences, and how we are experimenting and directly implementing it in the classroom afterwards. So I'm just going to showcase some of how remote teaching can be done in XR, or how locally you can set up an infrastructure, and how it can be applied on any course actually. But I am more now focused on the built environment, on sustainable practices in redesigning architecture's work. So that's my current course that I'm applying it in. So I'm just going to share you a presentation. I hope you can all see it, and let me know with a thumbs up.
Yes, thumbs up.
If you can see it, if nothing is in the way of the presentation. Do you see the full presentation?
Yes, we see it beautifully. Nothing's in the way
Um,
there.
this model I've introduced in a TED Talk in 2019. I was given the opportunity to give a TED Talk as a virtual avatar, so a digital copy of myself. And I would really wanted to share my vision on the future of education based on like a very old methodology learning pyramid, which is debunked. A lot of things is going to happen in the near future, also with the coming of AI to education. And that's when you're able to teach others in a classroom, you can only distribute 90% of your knowledge towards that person. And that's mostly the most far we can go in traditional education, is that a student showcases their skills and knowledge in a presentation form towards the rest of the students, and then gets feedback, and it goes further and further in developing themselves. With the use of virtual reality, you have this opportunity to immerse it also in the context of the real context of where education should be, and not the classroom experience, but actual practical use cases. So working with your hands in the field, that idea, very practical, is what we have seen that simulation technologies like virtuality can do. And what we see nowadays with the use of data aggregation is that you can have, with the sensors and Internet of Things around us, whether it be weather forecasting for perhaps fire spreadings or floods, we can improve the existing knowledge of teachers towards 150%, or towards new educational knowledge that can be applied directly in the classroom. And that's when we have real-time data inside virtual environments, inside the real context. Let's say Google Earth. You are in the fire spreading in Los Angeles, and then you have an expertise as a firefighter in the Netherlands and you want to solve and tackle this knowledge from your firefighting experiences, and you can tune into people from there and help from with your expertise. Whether it be VR and robotics, where you are controlling, like a surgeon, you're controlling robots from here to there, or whether it's being your knowledge sharing with, for example, with coming up with the right vaccine for COVID, having the opportunity to talk and discuss with other cultures and experts around the world. What then happens is that you are creating new products, creating new services in the study that you're in. So you're doing actually challenge-based learning, right? You're solving challenges in the real world with information and data. What happens if everything in the world has a digital copy of itself, a digital twin, and if it's real-time measurable, like in every car is around 1,200 sensors, we can measure so much from a car that we know exactly when it's going to break down in the future. So if we have all of these sensors in place, you can have the student that can be a futuristic scenario planner. The student can come up with A, B, C, D scenarios where the world can go to. So they can be planners of the future. And that's my goal with education. And that's why I use AI and XR. And if you would like to see my keynote and my vision on this take, feel free to scan this with your phone. And this is a TED Talk of 18 minutes to go deeper into it. I can share it afterwards, no problem, of course. But what we have doing, what we've been doing in our school is that we have focused on how can these technologies be piloted, tested, and is scaled up in universities, specifically focusing on sustainable built environment studies. So this is what we are now doing is, for example, open days and open events. We are using fourth, third, second, and first year's 3D models as showcases how they develop skills. And then we use VR headsets for new students to try out and walk through in these buildings and in these environments that are designed by our own students, so that we give the students themselves more of a stage, like the user-generated content that was a trend. It should be the new norm indication. You shouldn't showcase teachers' materials anymore. The student material is new, is better, and is more sustainable in their way. So we have tried to come up with a lot of different parts that where XR can be contribute to. And I just want to showcase how that looks like. This is the Sasson Business School in Thailand, and I am first of all using Zoom to tune in to the students, but you see that they're having VR headsets in front of them, and we quickly tuned into their headsets to do a MBA course on business modeling for their own businesses they work for. This is how that looks like. So the classroom itself looks quite boring here, but out of a sudden they are in a more exciting environment.
That's better.
I'm there. I'm there on stage and I have a big screen. I never have such a big screen in the classroom, but I have a big screen to showcase some examples of how to do digital twinning, for example. And they are there freely walking around, like the freedom of the feet that I'm a big believer in, that if you don't want to join, you can just walk away. Very hard in a real classroom, but that's what I still believe in. And then what you see is that they are starting to use this creative technology and starting to explore the functionality. So they are making selfies, they're doing post-its, they are testing a conference robot, and I'm tuning in with my cats, with their cats, from a distance, controlling a robot from here and having lunch together. But in the next part is that they see the tools that that VR headsets are offering is also an opportunity to come up with concepts together. And here you see some of them having with concepts like concerts where you can meet your fans, you can see the actual influencer, you can talk to the influencer, like Wave VR. You could actually meet the singer by going towards a singer and having a immersive experience together, like a festival. And we had that with Burning Man in the Corona time. I co-hosted Burning Man. We had 400 communities coming together digitally. But these concepts are ideas come up within 30 minutes. while you're in the creative technologies, you come up with new innovations quicker. And what we have done now is that we see that the technology should be connecting all continents. So we've set up a foundation called Invest, Immersive Festival of Technology, where we just today started collaborating with Ghana to help the local communities that have actual year-to-year floods, and they want to solve those. They have floods in the community, and they are poor suburban environments where they really don't have the knowledge of water management like we do in the Netherlands with civil engineering in our studies programs. So what we do is, I would like to bring technology to all youth. That's my massive transformative purpose, empowering youth and shaping the future in education and in their jobs by leveraging these tools. But we are actually applying every educational tool that we found that is also freely available or educational licensed. We are using it, for example, Trimble with the HoloLens to directly see your 3D models and directly have a talking stick with people that have no understanding about technology. So 3D communication or 3D portfolio building for websites and 3D collaboration, the tool you see in the below Archeo. We are leveraging now. I shared some headsets when I was in Ghana in September to be able to directly communicate in real time, like you see in Thailand. What we've done, we shared with core university. We shared headsets so that students from all ages and all backgrounds have the tools to be able to connect with us. And I try to help them in different parts. But this is like some of the exercises we do. They have regions where they have no buildings at all. They have local materials, local sources. And what we are going to do is we load in their Google Maps, their environments, and we can actually load in the buildings that are around this area and let them co-design a neighborhood together, from our Dutch students to the Ghanesian students. Next to that, we are looking at what kind of materials did they have, what kind of machines, how can they build stuff. So it's all small exercises of 20 to 40 minutes in the VR headset. Well, we give them the opportunity to real time, place and time independently work together. And for example, this is a very small exercise about light studies, figuring out how to design a building based on the time of the sun. If you want to have windows higher, bigger, smaller, for warm climate like Ghana, this might be a smaller window or open window instead of glass. But we are giving students the opportunity to, on floor level, in the actual size of the building, discover what light is actually convenient for them in buildings, so that when they start 3D designing buildings, they can actually understand why. And we have, of course, every school has 3D printers nowadays. So if they start designing in 3D, they can make it a keychain right away. But the next thing is that we are using AI in our courses. And that looks like this. You've drawn a block like here, and you ask the AI to come up with a render of a futuristic. We can ask them to do it with the materials they have at hand. So we can define the prompt with the materials they have in Ghana to make a futuristic design for a tender, for municipality open call, for example. And it just generates these renders on top of your own designs, but you can use these pictures in your pitch towards winning a tender, and then afterwards start to design these solutions. So we see that a lot of these design tools nowadays are starting to plug in AI. For example, SketchUp does the same thing. So people with not a big computer, like a heavy graphics card, can also get started in the web browser to design their own models and then render a futuristic building. What is missing to make this actually a big success is that every culture has their own resources. So we want to have this material bank of 3D models that you can quickly tune in to start doing Lego. It's like Legoing, but then in 3D. You're starting design solutions for local communities, have global community challenges. And we want to have a database. So we created a folder like a Teams folder, where we can start distributing and sharing. Like the building below is our school building. We turned that into a metaverse where we can work together and now digitally with 30 people at the same time. We want to share it as well, so they can have an exchange without having to fly, and at any time, any given time of the day. So I believe that these climate change challenges that we are facing everywhere now, like bees that are being coming to extinct because we have so much urban planning and no green anymore. We have to figure out how to solve that. And these kind of experiences we give students first, like how come that coral is dying? How come that ice is melting? How come that bees are dying? And how come that there are no more trees in Brazil in the future? How is it possible that we are doing that? These are all very immersive VR experiences. And after you've done these, you feel so responsible. And that's the hard connection that we want to make in education. Once they have it, they have a goal that they want to solve something, whether it's coral, with like the Plastic Soup Foundation that we have in the Netherlands. We have a lot of youth, most often students, willing to give everything they have to solve a challenge. So what we do is to give them more sense of responsibility by bringing these psychological distances. These are far away. We don't know what people are feeling in Los Angeles right now, or people in Gaza are feeling right now. We bring them closer with VR in a safe environment. So not that traumatic, but more on a heartbeat, like on a level of spiritual connection. And then afterwards, you give them the creative tools and hopefully the connection with municipalities, with challenge holders, stakeholders who own the challenge, to actually make a change with this technology. And that's where we are now more and more using AI in. So this is a tool called virtual speech. They showcase that you can learn communication and negotiation and other communication and soft skills 4 times faster using VR with NPCs, non-playable characters. Already with avatars pre-programmed, like chatbots. And now they're implementing ChatGPT into all of their programs. So all of these are real-time conversations with a virtual avatar, practicing your debating skills, practicing your sales pitch, practicing a bad conversation with your employees, and in a lot of different languages. And you see then your feedback is on like a lot of 21st century skills, and you can master them with a mirror in front of you without a teacher going to bash you around. No, you have a mirror with AI. It's very objective, and you can practice whenever you want. So the testing, the examination part in week 10, which is standard in education, doesn't have to take place anymore. It's ongoing, and it's a lifelong learning experience. You can test yourself whenever you want because AI is available for you whenever you want. And they are transcribing everything you say and then giving you very specific personalized feedback on your presentation skill, for example, and how often or what kind of values were like the listenability of it, or the intonation. All of these very specific things the teacher can really not check off every of them at the same time. AI is able to do that. So I see that as a nice companion for teachers, also for the summative testing. And maybe everything will become formative testing in the future, because we can test at any given time in the day, and credentials become less and less important. Like proving that you have this diploma, proving that you have the skill at the right time is more important, and proving that you can solve global challenges. You've showcased that you can work in very diverse transdisciplinary groups on wicked problems, will be a key skill in the future, and that's not a course at the moment. So we just want to make it part of every course, that people are using this AI metrics and are testing, and this is how it looks like. They're presenting to a stage. If you have stage fear, you can practice, and you can also talk with the teacher, the avatar form of the teacher, when she is not working anymore. So from 9 to 5, she's available in the class, but after 5 o'clock, you can still talk to her, and she has all the same knowledge from her PowerPoints and slides and documentation. She has all the same knowledge as a AI avatar tutor, and you can actually practice on. So this is how we do, for example, sustainability education. He's asking, well, the AI is asking him what to do about sustainability. And he is saying as an answer, we should immigrate to Mars. And then the AI is replying on the scientific research on how valuable, feasible that solution could be. And then ask again, okay, this is not feasible. Maybe you have another solution. And he keeps deeper and deeper diving into your brain, like your brain dump is done. And then they ask again and again. It's like the why question. If you ask 5 times why, you get a deeper understanding of a subject. So AI avatars can be tutors, but also asking you to come up with better ideas. You're implementing this on a day-to-day basis. With, for example, this is an avatar helping you with the basic needs certification, or going into the engineering, like the plots, the places where people start building houses. They need certifications to go there, safety certifications. But no one wants to teach these subjects. It's boring stuff. But you need to have it. You need to have these certifications, otherwise you're not allowed on these environments. So we give these tasks to tutors, and they can do it in their own pace, at their own time, and they have their own date when they want to finish this course. But if they don't finish, they cannot go on an excursion with the teacher. So, so they have to finish it, and the teacher don't wants to give this subject anymore. So yeah, let's replace it with AI, right? And this is how we look at different ways of education. And now we are with this tool, like collaboration tool, we are actually giving educational licenses, like free licenses away for people to connect with our students, with our school, because we believe in wicked problem solving in our education. And I think we are just getting started. I showed some examples of how we are working, but we are scaling up. 1,200 students in the last 3 months have used these tools. In the first and the second years, we still have the third and the fourth years to start using it. But I hope this year I will reach all students and 100 teachers to feel it's secure enough to give these tools to students in their classes. So to come up with a work form for their students with these tools, because I can give those courses for the teacher. But once it's sustainable, it's when once a teacher is not insecure anymore about the technology. And I think that's transition time, like learning curves and everything. That's where we are right now. We want to scale. We have the tools. We have 88 headsets, but now we need to convince the teacher. Well, they are convinced, but upskill the teachers to work with these tools as fast as the students can do, because they use a PlayStation and they use this, and it's dummy material for them. So teachers have a hard time, while students are having an easy time using these tools, and they really like it. It's that's their first feedback, that 95% really admires to use these tools for their courses. Only 5% is having a hard time using it. So we have to focus on guiding those, and those 90% after one time using. The second time, we don't have to coach them any longer because they know how to use this. So we see a very positive feedback. So that's all for now. I hope I was not too long. I tried to talk fast. But if there is anything you want to ask me or want to connect, feel free. I would love to help your school or your environment to use these things. I'm always available for these questions.
We'll definitely bring you back again, Nick. And we have interesting things coming up, I'm sure, where VR and XR and all that can play a critical role in making education a success now and in the future. So thank you so much. I was asking you for use cases in education to exactly convince educators, go and try this. Don't be afraid of it. Don't hesitate. Come and try this. Gotta try this. So I felt you have been
Feel free to
super
borrow.
convincing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel free to borrow headsets. We have plenty. Yeah.
Absolutely. So bring in Nick, and we'll definitely connect everybody that's interested in trying these things out. I just want to point out one use case which I find super compelling as being a coach. that every time try to help people overcome these barriers to try new things. Our own immune system reacts. It's like, no, this is not what I'm here to do. It's dangerous, or I haven't tried it before. But you are showing how you can simulate the consequences of our actions. And I think for students, but also for anybody out in the job market, being able to simulate the consequences of our actions is something that can push us over the edge and make us realize we have to change. We have to start doing things differently. So with that, thank you very much, Nick, for introducing us to these use cases and making us believe that go and use these technologies in the classroom, but also outside, maybe in a business, maybe back home in a family where you work with your kids on finding new opportunities, solving problems, all of that. Very exciting. We'll connect everybody. Thank you again, Nick.